Kartika.
Hi, I'm Manu.
Welcome to the CFO India show.
As the winter session starts off, the hot topic of the discussion is goods and services tax. It is a much needed reform measure for the investors, the public and the people in general.
Everyone knows that GST is going to simplify the extremely convoluted indirect tax system.
A well-designed GST can add 2 to 2.5% to the GDP growth rate. And the Vijay Kelkar committee report in 2009 had pegged the gains at a whopping $500 billion per annum. The exports can be between 10 to 14%.
Those staggering numbers. But the key here is that GST system should be well defined. India has high hopes from the changeover to GST. However, the final bill that needs the stamp of the parliament is stuck over several sessions of parliament. The opposition, be it NDA or UPA, always plays the spoilsport. In an interview with CFO India in late August, Jayant Sinha, Minister of State Finance, says,
GST, I think our government has done an extraordinary national service by eventually putting together that national consensus. So we have had the empowered committee of state finance ministers representing 29 states and the union territories, all saying that they're happy with the way the GST constitutional amendment bill is set up now. So they're all happy that consensus has been built. We've worked with many parties to build a consensus to pass GST. Even the Congress said that they were ready to pass the GST. But sadly, it was the willful action of two individuals, Madam Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, that has prevented GST from being passed.
But the main opposition, led by Congress, claims it is on principles that they oppose. They say that the current form of the bill will not lead to genuine reforms. At the CFO India conclave earlier this year in Jaipur, Shashi Tharoor, former cabinet minister in the UPA government, defended the Congress.
Had the BJP not diluted the GST to completely, to use bad language, castrate it of any meaning, Congress would have undoubtedly gone along with the GST bill that was like our GST bill. But they have destroyed the entire spirit of the GST, which was to create a truly national market, abolish the various state laws and octroys and additional taxes. Instead, they've restored them all and they're still calling it a GST, which is hypocrisy on their part. I'll give you one example. In order to appease BJP governments in Gujarat and Maharashtra, they have said we'll allow states, producing states, to add 1% to goods being exported outside the state, which is actually the de facto return of octroi. How will you know whether something made in Gujarat has gone to another state? You'll again have checkposts on all the state frontiers and all this nonsense which the Congress party was trying to abolish through the GST. Now, just one example. We have 5 other objections to the BJP's GST bill. So it's not a reform at all, it's actually a regressive step. So this GST bill we can never support. But if they come back to a decent GST bill, one that truly creates a national market, we believe that our GST bill would have automatically added 1.5 to 2% to the country's GDP. We would support it. We won't support the BJP's lame excuse for a GST bill, which it's not. We supported the insurance bill, we voted for it. I'm sure we will continue voting for other meaningful reforms in future.
However, given the complexity of legislative change in India, experts believe that 1% interstate tax is crucial for getting in the buy-in from all the states for implementation. But the reasons for the reform measures are maybe to sell it to the states. Siddharth Mehta, an expert on indirect tax from KPMG, one of the big audit firms, comments,
is being proposed to compensate the states which will lose out because of GST, primarily the producing states. Now, one might say that anyways if the central government has given an assurance that for the next 5 years they're going to compensate the states, then why do we need this 1%? In essence, this is compensating the central government, not the states, because the states were anyways insured by the central government. The central government has said that for the next 5 years, if any state were to suffer any loss on account of GST, they'll make good that loss. So why should states like Maharashtra and Gujarat be concerned about it? In essence, this is reducing the compensation that could flow from central government to the states. So again, our expectation is that this 1% should be further diluted by the time the law gets implemented, if not completely rolled back. But the central government seems kind of determined to levy it, at least for the timing. So recommendation is for the next 2 years it should be there, and after that they'll see whether they want to continue with it or not. But at least for next 2 years, it is likely to be there.
All the eyes are now on the winter session beginning November 26.
The government has already reached out to the opposition in order to build consensus.
but only the time will tell whether it will come up trumps or will there be another tamasha waiting to get unfold in the session.